Go ahead and start your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody.
You're not clear. Sounds like you're in a tunnel.
I didn't change them before.
Okay.
How is it now?
It's a little better. It's a little better. Can you come closer?
How about now?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming to this workshop. My name is Gabriel Rodriguez. I'm a Senior Compliance Officer.
Okay, Gabriel, it isn't clear. Are you using the microphone from your workstation?
No, I am at home from my laptop.
Right. Okay, so can you come closer to the laptop and stay closer to your laptop? Because it sounds a little like it is in a tunnel.
How about now?
You sound great, but if you have to stay right there, because it's clear right there.
Okay. The agenda for today is please stop me at any time if there is any confusion with the material or the connection material. We're going to talk about roles and responsibilities of the clients and the subcontractors for reclaiming the payments, the email notification process, the importance of the subcontractor payment confirmations, how to resolve the payment discrepancies with what they are, and who to contact when assistance is needed. Fasten your seatbelts because here we go. Okie dokie. The compliance audit process in a nutshell is well depicted in this picture. The system that the city of Chicago uses for the payment reporting is the certification and compliance system, also known as the C2 system. It's a web-based system. This system is spread through from the City of Chicago legacy accounting system, and every night payments are transmitted over and uploaded into the C2 system where the contracts reside. The C2 system is the system of record for payments on construction contractors, all sort of contracts, including work services, commodities, professional services, architects and engineers, heavy equipment, yacht projects, and it's also the system of record for the payments from the prime onto the subs and for us to track the goals on the contract. As depicted in the number one, let's see, right here. At the beginning of the month, the system will pull the data from FNPS and transfer over into the C2 system. Once that data is posted in each individual contract, that will be the addition of every payment that was made on a monthly basis with a monthly running total to be posted onto the contract. An alert will immediately be sent. Make a little bit of sound almost on top of my computer. Um, over to the prime contract. The prime contract is the person who is supposed to be uh, registered with us to monitor the contract. An email is sent saying, "Good morning, Mr. So-and-so. Just to let you know that the payment on contract XYZ for the project ABC has been posted onto your account. Please log into the C2 system and process the payments for the subcontractors that work with you on that month and for that amount that you receive." The prime takes the invoices for the payments that were submitted onto the city and starts reporting the payments. We're going to cover this in a little detail a little further, further into the presentation. Then it goes ahead and enters the payments for each one of the subcontractors into the C2 system. Once the payments are saved, once the button save is clicked, an email is sent to the subs letting them know, hello, Mr. ABC, the company ZYF have sent a payment and it was posted into the C2 system for the contract 123 and for the project ABC. Please log into the system and confirm the payment. Every vendor has a point of contact. That point of contact is the one that is registered in our system and is the one that will be the recipient of that email. Subsequent to that, the sub will log into the system, into the C2 system, and in the dashboard, there will be an entry. We're going to see the detail of all of this a little later in the presentation. And they will either accept or deny the payment. Yes?
Is this not clear, Gabriel? I apologize. They're not hearing you clearly.
I'm on top of the laptop.
Yeah, it just might be the laptop. I apologize, everybody. I just want to make sure it's clear enough so you can hear. So do this for me, Gabriel. If you can go to your circles at the bottom and click on the three dots and click on speaker and microphone.
I'm putting it. Well, where?
Speaker and microphone.
How about now?
Okay.
Better?
Yes.
Not 100%.
Can and you can take your output and scale it back maybe a little bit. Maybe that would help just a little bit.
Okay.
And then you can go ahead and test it out.
So now after the sub has received the notification via email, better?
Go ahead and you can go ahead and complete your session. Thank you.
Thank you. That the payment was received, the sub will log into the system, go into the dashboard, and if the sub has multiple contracts, every contract will be listed and it will say how many incomplete audits are outstanding. Incomplete meaning there is something that you need to do. Either there's a discrepancy that was created that you need to work on, or there's a payment that has been reported that you need to go and review and set complete. If for any chance the sub says this payment does not agree with what I have on record, they will create what we call a discrepancy. This is this letter A here that the sub rejects. If the payment agrees with the records, they will complete the audit and it will be done. The system will show confirm, and that's the end of the story. If there is a what we call a rejection or a discrepancy, the prime will be notified that there is a discrepancy and they will have to work it out. And we also, as the compliance officers, will be notified that there's a discrepancy with the contract. We normally allow the prime and the sub to work the differences. And if after a given amount of days the discrepancy is not resolved, we have to step in and resolve this discrepancy for you. Okay? Once the discrepancy is resolved, and we're going through that process how the discrepancy appears and is resolved, if the audit is complete, and we go back to point 7 and the compliance audit is complete. So this cycle is repeated every month for every existing contract in the C2 system until it's time for closing the contract. So now, let's move forward with what the dashboard looks like. This is the prime contractor. That also the term that we use as a prime. That is the person that enters into the contract with the city of Chicago. That is the one that is responsible for delivering and fulfilling the scope of work of the contract. In this case, when the person logs in, it says you have a total of 7 incomplete audits. 6 are recent, less than 90 days, and greater than 90 days, and 1 is for now. And you have 1 audit discrepancy. You have to click on the number that is underlined, and that will take you to the screen that will show you which contracts either you have incomplete audits for, that means payments that you have not reported, or audit discrepancies that you need to resolve. We don't do workforce audits. We don't do certification. That's only the person has any certification. For certified firms, this is how the dashboard will look like. So now, from here, just follow the box, the red box. Okay, this is where we're at. We're going to click on the 7. And this is what it will show. It will show that the prime has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 incomplete audits. It shows for some of the vendors that have, because the C2 system is a nationwide system. So if you are a big 5 firm with a construction or professional services, all of the contracts for all of the sister agencies will also show under this portal. So in the case that you know that you only have worked on the City of Chicago contract, but in this case, in the case of this example, with the City of Milwaukee contract, then you know that you have a project and MKE 123. That's the contract that you need to go and click in, and you need to confirm the payments. For the last 3, that means there were no payments done. That will be for Jacksonville Transportation Authority, Los Angeles County, and the City of Cleveland. That's what not reported means. I mean, there was nothing that the prime of the city, in this case, did not report any payment in this contract. Or whatever those agencies are. You have, in the case of this example, the first 4 are payments that you need to go and disperse those funds to the subs, if you had any subs associated with this contract. So now we're going to go with the one for the City of Milwaukee. We're going to click on incomplete and let's see what that takes us. There we go. The analysis says prime contractor, it has 3 subs listed for this contract that they need to go and report money for. Keep in mind that one of the reporting requirements for any prime contractor in the City of Chicago contract is that they need to report amounts paid, including but not limited to 0. If a single payment was made or not made, for lack of a better word, that 0 needs to be entered and the sub also needs to confirm it. That's what is in the middle of the screen. So if any of you is a prime, this is what your screen will look like. So you have to click here to report the payments to your subs. We're going to mentally click on this in a little bit, and we're going to go to that screen. This is our information. In this case, the City of Milwaukee. But if it is the City of Chicago, we will set who the contact person is. That will be the compliance officer on that contract. Whoever was assigned to that contract, that's what that name be. If I am the officer on the contract, it is a Gabriel Rodriguez, City of Chicago, and my telephone number. It will be listed here, so it's easy for you. There's a discrepancy that you can call me. In here, it will be the prime's information. Oftentimes, and this is a guidance we provide to the subs, if you happen to, or the primes, if you happen to think for a moment that you were not supposed to get any action items for a contract that's already ended, just contact us and we will verify that for you. Okay? So this will be who the contract administrator to the department to Milwaukee would be, that would be listed there. So if we click on this report 3 subcontractor payments, this is what this could will look like. Now, here you have, on this contract, you have three subs listed. Sub Flooring LLC, Sub Trucking Company, and a Sprinklers Car Wash. Please note that Sprinklers Car Wash is linked as a number 2. That means it's a tier 2. So if any of you are subs, and if you work directly with a prime, you will be a number 1. But if you are working for another sub, you will be a tier 2. In this case, the Sprinkles Car Wash is doing some of the work for Sub Trucking Company. Okay, so that's where we have all of these companies listed. 2 first tiers that work directly with the prime, and 1 that works directly with the tier 1 sub. Then it says they're all certified, MBE, WBE, and the WBE firm, all subs at 100% credit. If I am the prime, I have 2 options. Either I can click here and submit these amounts individually or collectively. To the bottom of the screen, it shows to all of the fields here, whatever fields are here are what the same that we're going to show in there individually. We're going to see that as well. This is a collective in case you want to put them all at the same time. See, submit all incomplete records. So this is the payment. If we're talking April 2015, this is where we're going to put the amount, the payment date, meaning when was it that the payment was made. And when it says within 7 days, meaning was the amount reported and given to you within 7 days after they got the money. The payment detail is whether or not the primes are encouraged to provide as much information as possible. Information includes that is not limited to check number, invoice number, if it is an ACH or an EFT, the date of those transactions and the amounts. In this, whether or not the payments was made or the payments were made to each sub within the 7 days that are required by the contract. Okay, some of them require within 15 days, but there's a turnaround time. Once you have all of this completed, you can submit them all by submitting all incomplete records. Okay, so this is one shot, all vendors listed, all in one screen. If you choose to do one at a time, this is what it's going to look like. It is very similar, but it's a little wider space. You got more space to work with, and then you have more room to put details. The amount that you paid, when you have multiple, because if you have multiple payments that you make to the subs, then you're going to report the date of the earliest, and there it is. Multiple payments were made, enter the date of the first payment. You have enough guidance as a prime to put the information in. What the prompt payment made, this is something that will track. It's still like that, those subs get paid as soon as the prime, or shortly thereafter, as soon as the prime gets the money. The payment detail, that includes either the invoices, as I said before, or this detail right here, is the same with a more space here. If for any chances the prime likes to be organized and likes to keep copies of the invoices, the checks on a PDF file, they can upload that file here. This is attached file. So it's easier for the sub to go and click, look at the detail, trace and agree to the detail that they got in their office and said, yeah, this is my money, and confirm. If there's anything that the prime would like to see or like to say to the sub, they can include it in the comments box, which is the same as this tiny little box. So those are the two ways that you can go and click one of them at a time. Okay, so you got one shot, all of them listed and displayed, but you can do each one individually. And you get to this by clicking it submit response for the sub and enter the information. Now, you once they click and submit all incomplete records, an email, there it goes, you get an email. Now, it's telling you, you need to go into the system to confirm, to review, assess, and confirm the payment. Once you go into the dashboard, it will show similar to the prime. But then you're going to click on the incomplete, and it's going to take you here. Then it says, Tier 1, prime contractor to whoever the prime name is, confirm payment received. This is who the prime, my name will be the officer on the contract, and this is who the buyer or the project manager is on this contract. So you're going to click where it says confirm payment received, and it's going to take you here. So whatever was entered here or here on the bottom in each one of these boxes, you as a subcontractor performing on a contract for credit, or what we call participating contractor, this is what it's going to look like. This is the month. This is who the prime is. This is what the previous information and stuff like that. So that's for the month before that. Payment information. This is the amount paid to the prime for the month of April. This is how much the actual prime got, and the date that the payment was issued to the prime. Normally, it's the first to the 5th of every month. Now that the payment was made, that's when it was posted onto the system, the C2 system. Now, it says that the prime give you during the month of April 2015 payments, and according to the detail that was entered, one check 1256 for your invoice 789 dated April 2nd, 2015, that's the date of the check, for $5,000. So what your actions in this case are, is that amount correct or is it incorrect? We don't encourage you to click incorrect. Rather that you escape out and that you reach out to the prime to say, hello, this is so-and-so. I just wanted to talk to you about the payment that you entered for April because it is incorrect. If you do choose to go ahead and click incorrect, we're going to talk about the discrepancies in a little bit. Choose the option that better applies to the record. Is it a final payment? Often than not, subs like to click on yes, because they presume that because all the payments were, all the invoices were paid, and that the amount that is reported, the 5,000, is correct, that that's the final payment. Excuse me. That is intended if this is the last payment on the contract, you have nothing else to do, and your participation in this contract is over. So I totally encourage you, do not use this final payment flag until you get the final payment on the contract and your work is done. For professional service, for anything that is non-construction, there's no retainage. So you're going to take whatever applies to you or for this contract, and then you will save it. If you happen to click on is the amount incorrect, we're going to see that in a little bit. What is the repercussion or the consequence of that? Now, payment discrepancy. If the prime is subcontractor, in this case, the discrepancy is created by the sub, not by the prime. So the prime gets notification of the payment, and then they said, okay, out of the stash of invoices that I submitted to the city for payment for the whatever amount that was, $65,000. I had 5 subs, in this case there were 3, that I had to make the payments to. But they made the mistake, or the person who was doing it made a mistake and took the ones from the last month, but they put the wrong amount. The discrepancy was true. That's why I always ask you, before you click, here's my notes, if any of this is true, especially the amount that you see is not correct, do not click it, rather call the file. If the record of the payments that you have, or the copies of the payments do not match with what the prime said that they paid you, excuse me, that's going to create a discrepancy. That's what a discrepancy is for, and that's what it is called. Just as we saw in the first screen on the dashboard, the prime will get a notification that there is a discrepancy that they need to resolve. Normally, it is not resolved via telephone, which is what I would like to see. It's a back and forth twice for each person until, if there's no agreement, it comes to one of us, one of the compliance officers in the Department of Services in the compliance unit. What we do, if there is no agreement, we need to request copies of canceled checks, and then we will make the assessment and we will make the confirmation on the behalf of the sub and on behalf of the client. Oftentimes, if the client likes to make the payments at the end of the month, let's say the 30th, and the 30th happens to fall on a Friday, they run the checks on Wednesday with the date of the Friday. They could get the check signed, but they leave on they drop them at the USPS at the mailbox on Friday. They will not get to you until the following Tuesday or Wednesday. That's already the following month. Then you're going to create a discrepancy via this. I didn't get paid on the 30th. I got paid on the 4th or the 5th of the following month. In this case, you will be incorrect because the job of the prime is to report the payment when the payment was issued. Mailing dates or breaking months that roll over into from one week into the next normally is room for creating a discrepancy. I encourage you to take into account that if the date of the check is the 30th, that means it belongs to the month that the check was issued on. Okay? That's how we normally tend to say. That is the most common issue that we got with discrepancies. And when we have to take action, we call both the prime and the sub. The instances that if there are multiple contracts, the prime sometimes, not always, adds payments that go into more than one contract into the one contract. Very rarely. Um, Mainly is because of overlapping dates. That's mainly what the issues are. So I encourage you to take into account that if you were the prime and you have suppliers that work for you as a first tier, that in the same token, the date that the check is issued, which is the date that you account for your records, that's the way that is recorded for the system. With all of that being said, this is basically how the C2 of the compliance and certification system works. This is how the responsibility of the reporting from the city to the prime and from the prime to the subs. According to the terms and conditions of the contract, um, the prime has to report all payments before the 15th of the month or the following month, and the sub has no later than the 25th of that very month confirm the payments. If they are not, we have the authority as the monitoring unit of the city of Chicago to report that to the funding department, or what we call the user department, and if there's a significant number of outstanding confirmations, the user department might withhold the payments. So it is encouraging, or we encourage everybody to whoever is taking action, or whoever is responsible for monitoring the contract, to be on target and to be on point. Okay. Now I'll leave it back to Jackie in case there's any questions. Thank you all for coming.
All right. So if you have any questions, since there are only two of you, if you would like me to unmic you, to unmute you, I should say, go ahead and type in the Q&A, unmute, and I'll let you ask your question if you'd like. So I'll give you a few minutes to type that out in case you want to ask a question. There's a question. The first question is, what is the link for compliance audit process? Okay. Is this a actual question, or is this the answer to a question? So I'll give them a few minutes to type that out. Gabriel, what is the link for compliance audit process? Do you know what the website address is for that? www.
A second. If I have it open.
If you can give us that. If you'd like to have your mic unmiked, just hover at the bottom of your screen, the three dots, click on the three dots, the ellipse, and then choose Q&A. When you get the Q&A, just type in unmute, and I will unmute you so that you can ask your question. And I think Gabriel's getting the compliance audit process link for us. So when he does that, we will get it out to everyone. I want to thank Gabriel for imparting that great information. If you would like to see if you would like to see additional, he's put the link there. So if you want to copy that, and I want to thank Gabriel for his time today of imparting that great information. And I also would like to thank each and every one of our panelists for coming on and sharing their afternoon with us. And we are very glad that you came. Hopefully you will come to another one of our seminars, and you can find that online, like I said, in the on the Chicago DPS chicago.gov /DPS page. You can find our descriptions of our workshops and the PowerPoints if you'd like to kind of review this on your own, or you can go into YouTube, youtube.com /Chicago DPS, and then again at on the search bar, put in the title of this workshop, and all of the archived copies will come up. Thank you so much for taking your time. I don't see any other questions coming through. Hold on one second. I just want to make sure that there is one question. What is the time frame for submission of payment for contracting for contracts nearing an end? Gabriel, what is the time frame for the submission of payments for contracts nearing an end?
It doesn't. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
It doesn't matter whether it's a brand new contract or contract that is coming to an end. As soon as the prime gets notification for the posting of the payment from the city of Chicago, then the payment, even if it is a zero, if, for example, uh, all of the subs are completed with their work, and now I, as a prime, have to clean up all of the work orders, final work orders, all the detail and all of the audits. All of your work is done. I still have the responsibility when the final payment is made to me as a prime, that's when the payments to you will cease. So there is no when and where. Only the prime will determine when the contract is over and when the payments will stop. Unless there's something that you still have open items, any quality control items that you have to do. The user department has to come out and they need to audit, they need to review that everything is up to par, especially when the sidewalk or the train stations, the platforms, that there are so many OSHA requirements or whatever the requirements that they got, quality control, quality testing. If there's anything that needs to be redone, the contract will not be closed and payments will continue to be posted even if it is with a zero. The subs will have to limit only to the amount that are posted by the prime, and the confirmations will have to be done as soon as the email is issued. There is no question about that part. Any other questions?
That seems to be it. That seems to be it. So thank you, everyone. I say stay safe, stay well, wash your hands, social distance, and wear your mask. And we will see you soon once it is safe for all of us to convene again soon. So take care and have a great rest of your afternoon. Thanks so much.